53rd minute.
Thank you. And we welcome you in, and right on cue. This is what we call service. As the show opens, our food arrives. Life is good here at Quaker Steak and Lube, as there is today's orders, and man, hard to go wrong with anything on the menu, but impossible to go wrong when you do the chicken tenders and the fries and slaw, baby. That's a meal, I tell you. That's a meal of kings. We are at Quaker Steak and Lube, as we are every Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 4 o'clock. Live. You can obviously catch the show anytime, and we see that many of you do catch it at other times. Yeah. That's cool. We appreciate that. And we appreciate feedback. You know, we really love the positive feedback, and it gives us a reason to swear when we get the negative feedback. So, you know, it's all good. Give it to us. We do welcome it. Basically, the show, if you haven't figured out, because somebody was asking me, it's pretty much the way we did the morning show when I did that with Kevin Nelson on WRSC for years. The format is basically, hey, let's do a show and see what pops into our head and sit around and BS, because that's what we do anyway. So we thought we'd just do it with a now camera in front of us or a microphone. Take your pick, in this case, both. But it's just kind of what we do. So it's a very casual, not an overly in-depth show, but we just try to have some fun and bring you along for the ride if we can.
Perfect for a guy like me with ADD and a lot of opinions. I mean, it just from jumps from topic to topic, baby. So, Ironhead, hope everything is well. Everything go well over the weekend.
Yeah, apologize for missing the show on Thursday with draft day and all of the excitement of that. My beloved wife Marissa had an absolutely hellish week. The quick synopsis is a kidney stone that was large, but the bigger issue was that it was actually blocking her kidney function. So that was taken care of on, I believe, Tuesday, although the days are kind of running together now. On Thursday, she had some stomach inflammation that she had to go back into the ER for, and fortunately did not have to have an overnight stay or any surgery required for that one, but some additional treatment. And then to top things off, Friday morning, I get a call right around lunchtime, just a little before, concerned that she may have severed a toe. That did not happen, but we had a little, just a bizarre knife accident in our kitchen where a knife fell onto her foot, blade first. No, it was unbelievable. And she's like, I can't go back to the ER for a third issue in 4 days. I'm like, well, if you need to, you need to. But we ended up, we decided to just hold off a day. No, she decided Saturday that maybe a little trip to Med Express was in order, and got the antibiotics. Yep. So far, that seems to be healing okay. They were a little concerned, weren't exactly sure what the what the injuries were. There were some potential additional problems. They felt fairly confident that we had avoided those, and it appears that we have, as she has been getting progressively better here during the week. So far this week, no trips to the ER, and things seem to be humming along just nicely, although it is, only Tuesday afternoon. I realize.
She was doing everything in her power to avoid one thing.
The draft.
Your birthday. So your friends went out and took care of you, Ironhead.
Yes, they did.
I know
the Deer Horse is a big fan of the obligatory TV show.
No, it was going to be on Thursday's
Hook
show.
Me up.
It was going to be your opening time to see it, but it's past. But for those who didn't see it, we're going to put it on for you, Ryan. A little happy birthday.
Hello, Jeff Byers, otherwise known as Ironhead. This is Danica McKellar. Yes, I played Winnie Cooper on The Wonder Years many years ago. Dan Solenday says that you guys used to watch the show together when you were back at Penn State back in the day. That is so cool. I'm so glad. Thank you for being such longtime fans. It also says that you used to crash on some friends' couch to watch, and their names were Horse and Weasel. Very interesting names that you guys used to watch the show together as well. It's so cool. Also, Dan says that you are an amazing friend, son, brother, husband, father, and broadcast partner. He just thinks that you're awesome, Jeff. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. And thank you so much, Dan, for booking this video. I donate all my proceeds to children's charities. Right now it's places like Child Help, My Stuff Bags, and also some organizations helping to fight child trafficking here in the U.S. So thank you so much for that support. And Jeff, from myself and yes, from Winnie Cooper, happy birthday. Mwah.
Wow. Wow.
Right back at you, Winnie. Take that, Kevin Arnold.
Wow.
One of my all-time favorite human beings.
I love the brother the best. He's such a tool. He was great. He used to beat the tar
I'm
out of
telling you,
Kevin.
that show was when I was in college. That was our can't miss show. Like there are other shows that we liked, but it was like the entire dorm floor got together, hopped up on the couch, and just laughed ourselves silly. It was perfectly cast. I mean, it really was. She was fantastic. Danica McKellar was as Winnie Cooper. Fred Savage as Kevin Arnold was wonderful. The brother, whose name I don't know, but he was perfectly cast as the butthead, even though that was his nickname for Kevin Arnold on the show. The father,
my man,
was phenomenal. It was perfectly cast. Paul was perfectly cast as the best friend. I mean, it was the best show. The father on that show ended up doing a play that ran for a while with my cousin, which was, I thought it was the coolest thing because I don't know if he knew what a big Wonder Years fan I was. And this was a few years after the series had ended. And I have a cousin who's a phenomenal actor, but he ended up doing a play that we went out to see. And I want to say that one was in Cleveland. I think this was before he moved to Manhattan. He did plays in New York for a long, long time and has now moved to Pittsburgh. But I think this was when he was in Cleveland. It was a long-running play. I want to say 3 or 4 months. And we went out, and I was like floored. I'm like, wait a second. I know that dude. I'm like, you know him? He's like, well, yeah, he's in the cast. Of course I know him. So got to meet him after the show, and he really was just as nice a guy as you could possibly imagine. Very gracious with his time and put up with my raving about the Wonder Years and how I thought, and I did. I thought everybody on that show I thought was perfectly cast, but I thought he was just absolutely fantastic as the father of a working class family dealing with all the misery of the job, but loving the family aspect.
Created suburbs,
yeah,
the town type areas. So I have a question, not a question, but you're putting it in perspective. So that was based on the late 60s and was shown in the late 80s.
Yes.
So it's a 20-year difference.
Yes.
So do that now.
Oh, I know. Well, that's what started this whole. It's why my dear friend Dan the Horse in Pittsburgh. That's what started the whole thing. Is we were having a conversation about. Do you realize that the Wonder Years was set 20 years prior to when it was airing? If you did that now, it would be 2001.
Yep.
Which is, in and of itself, you're talking about a generation that has grown up. I mean, none of the kids from 20 years ago, born 20 years ago, right, have any recollection of 9/11. No. They obviously are aware of it, but. I mean, let that sink in. That is like the, I don't know. Time does fly. My grandparents always used to say that. I always used to slough it off. I'm like, old people are insane. They don't understand that a day's a day, a week's a week, and a year's a year. What do you mean time flies? It's the same. Well, no, it's because as you get older, it's a smaller portion of your, percentage of your life that a day is and a year is. And man, it absolutely does fly. It felt like going from 16 to 21 felt like it took about 40 years. Going from 30 to 52 now feels like that took about 6 months.
I got another one for you. I don't know if I've said it on the air on this show or somewhere else before, but I remember playing in the early 90s and looking back and saying, man, the 68, 69 team, that shows old school teams and this and that.
Big time.
That is the difference right now between this team now and the 94, 95 team.
Yeah.
It's the same exact 25 years. You start thinking about that. And
It is
wow,
just crazy. Yep.
who was it? Who's Mike Reed, Franco Harris, all that stuff. And we were like, oh, those guys were ancient and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And now we're looking back and then like the kids that are playing now, that's how they looked at my 94, 95 teams. And that's
unreal.
Alarming to think about.
Yep. Unreal stuff. Few things we want to get into today.
A lot of stuff, Ironhead. Of stuff.
Penguins decided to just take a little break here as they get ready for the postseason. Hopefully, they'll be back in action tonight. They decided to take a night off for no apparent reason. It's crazy. The last 2 losses for that team, they've won everything else. Except for the 2 games, they won everything sandwiched between these 2 games against the Flyers. Last night, Casey DeSmith left with the injury, but I think he was going to leave one way or another, regardless. Boy, it was a rough night for my beloved Penguins, and I think now back into a tie for first. In the East, so we'll see. Big game tonight against the Flyers, and then just a couple remaining here before the Stanley Cup playoffs get underway.
In their power to somehow screw the Penguins, I think, because the Flyers end the season against the Capitals for 2.
Yeah.
So they could.
The Penguins played a great. I mean, they've been playing great hockey except for last night. It was crazy how poorly they executed last night.
Alan, our favorite, our best fan here, he's a big Penguins fan. He bets me a case of beer, and then he'll double it up. And he literally has. I've had a lot of Bud Light oranges, and I drink oranges just because it's the Flyers. So he has bought me multiple cases of Bud Light orange. And like last night, I told Carrie, I was like, I feel horribly guilty right now. So first thing this morning, 2 cases. I'll bet you 2 cases tonight because there's no way I got to get a case from you. So I got 2. Now I can win 3 more cases if the Flyers win tonight.
Come on, Penguins.
So me and Chris were talking about on Thursday is like you got to give and take a little bit in the Philadelphia sports scene. So Eagles go out and draft Devontae Smith and just absolutely ecstatic about the whole thing.
Yep.
And then the next thing that came across about 42 seconds later was the Flyers are eliminated from the playoffs. So you got to give a little bit and take a little bit. So me and him were laughing about that earlier. But, yeah, dude, that draft went – I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching the draft. It's one of my favorite things to do. And Chris, we were talking. I had about the first 15, 16 picks done, and then it was wide open to me. I really had no idea.
Yeah.
But it's funny – watching the how it folds out and plays out with, was there going to be a run on quarterbacks, and that's when the receivers were going to drop. And if they, there was only 3 quarterbacks taken, so then everybody else started getting popped out. And I don't know, a lot of people are happy, and as usual, the Steelers should be very happy with what they got.
Yeah, I for one absolutely love the Steelers draft. I am not a big fan generally, and I've talked to a few folks about this. Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of taking a running back in the first round, as we talked about the other week with Saquon and just these days. Generally speaking, I do think that's a bad idea. I do think this was the exception because it was such a need for the Steelers. It was such a great fit, and to me, the Steelers did a terrific job addressing all of their needs. I think Najee Harris is, again, I think a great fit for the Steelers. I read a couple of things. I don't know if people are not he is a good pass catcher. There seem to be people that think he's not adept at catching the ball, and I think you're either not paying attention or I don't know what else it would be, because he's got good hands. I mean, that was clear at Alabama, and I think the Steelers aren't going to. He's not going to be a huge threat out of the backfield. I mean, he might be a huge threat. The Steelers aren't going to utilize him that way. That's not what the Steelers do. Now, with Le'Veon Bell, yes, they used him as part of the passing game, and I do think, again, he will be a component there. But I got to tell you that not just because it's a Penn State guy either, but although that certainly adds to my joy. But you talk about addressing a need with a guy that fills that need perfectly with Pat Freiermuth in that second round. I just think Freiermuth obviously is a terrific weapon in the passing game.
Yep.
I also think he's a slightly underrated and underappreciated blocker. But I think when you look at that Steelers offense now, and obviously offense is what they addressed with the center from Illinois, and and that defense was, among the best, if not arguably the best in the NFL last year. And I think is going to remain at the very least one of the best defenses in the upcoming season. But I think when you look at the offense, needed to get a little help on that offensive line. Absolutely had to address the running back situation. And then I think just help Big Ben and the receivers out, right, with getting another legitimate threat at tight end. So, I'm not going to sit here and guarantee Super Bowls or anything, but I think the Steelers have given themselves, my take on it is they've put themselves in a good position to at least make a run in what might be Ben's final year, what is certainly one of Ben's final years, if this isn't his final one. And I would have loved to have seen them get the quarterback of the future, but I don't think that was a necessity this year. I think, there's ways you can address that going down the road, including next year's draft. So, unless you had the guy that you absolutely felt sure of that was your next franchise quarterback. And the problem is, again, I think that the nucleus was solid with the Steelers. And you don't want to start, again, my opinion, I don't think you want to start dinking too much around with that locker room that they have, because I think it's a good locker room right now to try to move up and get a quarterback of the future. I think to a large extent, you got to focus on the now being this upcoming season. And again, I think they've done it with an eye toward the future. Obviously, quarterback is going to be the most glaring need next season, but I think you can address that next season. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be through the draft. There's trade opportunities. There will be things that the Steelers can look at moving forward. But I absolutely love their draft. I thought the Eagles, I don't know what your take is, and I don't follow it as closely.
Yeah, I think that the threshold for that running back position is 20. You know what I mean? Where you're not really wasting a pick on a first round. It's a 20 area.
And again, it was so, to me, so overwhelmingly the glaring need for the Steelers. I mean, that and the offensive line, but you can get, and you could argue you can get good running backs later too. It's just that to me, Harris is such a good fit and such as close to a can't miss prospect. There's certainly no such thing, and I will concede that. But I just felt like the right pick this season for that team.
Since my man Villanueva has gone, he left. Got to sign a deal with Baltimore today.
Yep.
2 years, $14 million, 8 guaranteed. Yeah. So good rate for him. So I need a new favorite Pittsburgh Steeler. I got to root for somebody out there. I got to say it's my favorite player. My favorite player in the NFL right now is Najee Harris because of what he did on draft night.
Yeah.
That's absolutely the most unbelievable thing I've seen. A college kid who has everything the NFL would have taken care of him.
Yeah.
Him and his family, 10 deep, hotels, parties, dinners, drinks, all of that stuff. And he goes back, and where his head is at is he wants to thank the people who got him there. And he had his draft party was at a homeless shelter that he had spent time with.
No, it was.
In Richmond, and I absolutely cannot believe how classy and big time of a move that was. And then my ultimate Steeler buddy is like, Jesus, dude, I think we drafted the next bust because you see him on commercials right now with Drew Brees already.
Yeah,
and he has a very great personality.
He really does. It's this is the exception to the rule for me, but I mean, I really did and do love that pick for the Steelers this season for all of the reasons that you're talking about. But I also, again, I just think it is a great fit for a glaring need right now for that team. Maybe the most glaring.
It is glaring.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
can't do a thing.
the fact that the Steelers last year had zero confidence, the Steelers or their fans had zero confidence in 3rd and inches or 4th and inches. I mean, that is not Steelers football at all. I don't care what area you're from. That's not anybody's football. But I mean, the Steelers, right, pride themselves on being tough and being able to grind out. And there was just again zero confidence, and rightfully so. Zero confidence last year in those short yardage situations, and I think much more confidence, at least heading into the upcoming season in those spots.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was a good draft for them. But so the Eagles got who they wanted. They got who I wanted. I just
and I think overall it was a solid. I mean, I'm not following the Eagles obviously as closely as you are, but
there was an issue down later in the draft. I mean, it's just unbelievable. They can't get out of their own way sometimes.
I will say I cringed, although I think it is a great fit. I cringed at Micah Parsons going to the Cowboys. I just it was agony for me seeing Sean Lee down there because I obviously love Sean Lee and all he represents, but I just cannot get past my absolute dislike. It's like when Eric Milton was pitching for the Yankees. I mean, a local kid that was rooting for, but of all of the teams that you have to go play for, yuck and ugh. But again, I think a great fit, and obviously it is cool. Certainly, if you're a Cowboys fan, but even as a Penn Stater, to have the successive interior linebacker. Well, yeah, from Penn State here for the Cowboys.
They'll be happy with him for a dozen years, I think.
And it was cool seeing the back-to-back Nittany Lions selected, just kind of a fluky thing in the draft on day 3. But that was kind of neat, kind of fun too.
Sure.
Yeah, and overall, I think a lot of teams appear to have met their needs. I do just chuckle because listening to the analysts on ESPN, all of these teams that took quarterbacks in the first round seem to hit home runs. Well, that's not the case. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I'm not going to pretend to know. On paper, I agree. It looks like good fits across the board. But, right, I mean, the percentages tell you that at least a couple of those teams have whiffed. I have no idea which ones. I don't know how it's all going to play out. But it's not going to work out for all of those teams the way that they're thinking it is right now. And it's just going to be interesting to see how that unfolds, because I have no idea. The Jets? No, I think they everything's got to go well there. Actually, their draft to me on paper, it looked like a really good draft to me. But yeah, we'll see how it all plays out.
What scares me is Trey
time.
Lance. He has 17 games played in college.
Yeah,
I mean that's just unbelievable to think about. 17. I mean, we're talking about Joe Burrow and Mac Jones not having that much, quarterback time and stuff like that. But I mean, you're not knocking the FBS schools, but it's like they're not playing against the greatest competition in the world. And he played 17 games. I mean, his stats are unbelievable. He's a good fit out there with Shanahan, who he has his father's offensive mind mentality, so they'll know how to use him. Mac Jones going to the Patriots. It's almost like a blessing and a curse. Like, is that good for that kid? Is that bad for that kid? To going to that type of program, I don't know. I don't. And then the Jets guy, and again, which one do you think of the 4 or 5 are going to bust? I was telling Booch on the show Thursday that Justin Fields, I think, is the best Ohio State quarterback that they've produced ever. And you could just tell he was pissed. He wasn't happy where he went.
Well,
not where he went, but I'm saying his draft position.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, everything I've seen and read leading up, and listen, there have been other quarterbacks that are like, hey, I'm going to prove the league wrong. I mean, Johnny Manziel was all, I got a chip on my shoulder. Well, so there are guys every year that come in saying the right thing. And again, I'm the idiot who was lobbying for Ryan Leaf over Peyton Manning. So take this with for what it's worth, which is absolutely zilch. But my prediction, sure to go wrong this year, is I do think – I don't know about any of the other quarterbacks, just not because of talent or anything else. And, I mean, I don't know anything with certainty about any of this. So and neither does anybody else, truth be told. I will say I feel more confident about Justin Fields having success at the National Football League than any of the other quarterbacks, in part because of the fit and where he's at, in part because of the chip on the shoulder, and in part because I saw him probably a little more up close than I wanted to, and I see the combination of the speed and athleticism and the unbelievable accuracy. And the one thing you have to have in the NFL is accuracy. That, the other stuff, it's great if you can add the scrambling aspect to it. It's great if you can add the speed component. But if you're not accurate, none of that other stuff matters. Even the leadership skills, and that's important too. But you better be able to accurately throw the football to be successful in the NFL because the defenses are too good and there's too small of windows. If you are not accurate, you are going to be a turnover machine in the NFL. And again, I don't know enough. I mean, even Trevor Lawrence, I mean, I obviously have seen enough of him that I think he's a terrific quarterback. But man, Fields to me just has the combination of, again, chip on the shoulder, athleticism, accuracy, leadership, and then the right pedigree as well. I mean, he's been a winner at every level to this point. To me, even more so than Trevor Lawrence or any of the others, Fields feels like he is going to be successful. I don't know about Hall of Fame, and one of the other guys may be in the Hall of Fame, and he won't be. I mean, I don't know any of that. I'm just telling you, my prediction, again, sure to go wrong, is that Justin Fields is going to have a successful NFL career. Lawrence, it's going to be, he might put up good numbers, but if you are judged on rings, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a long building process.
Urban.
And and we'll see how that all comes together or doesn't for the Jets and for Trevor Lawrence. But it was an interesting draft, and it was it was a fun watch.
Especially watching everything going into it with the news at 3:00 to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and I still don't know. Yeah, I still don't know how that's going to play itself out, and what. I don't know what that does. Well, what does it do to his legacy? I mean, part of it's going to depend on what happens, whether or not he in fact does end up back in Green Bay, or if he does go somewhere else and falls flat, or goes somewhere else and has
nuts,
a great couple of years.
It's crazy to think about that he's calling for. I mean, you don't know who you're believing. Unless you hear him say it. I hate, so-and-so reported that Aaron Rodgers wants the GM gone or he's not coming back. Did he say that? I want to hear him say that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're putting a line in the sand right there, man. You're telling your general manager it's either the all-pro quarterback or him. I mean, that's a big decision those people got to make.
Yeah.
To who? To the GM or to the quarterback? I think Aaron Rodgers will win that power struggle, and that's crazy to think about.
Yeah. At the same time, right? You can't understand Rodgers' frustration. I mean, there is a lot in place there, but they have not invested to get over the hump here the way you would expect when you have talent the caliber of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, instead of the field goal, all that. I get that. I get all that. And then Brady comes into the NFC and goes up to Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers had talked. I want a home game at Lambeau for the NFC title, and he got embarrassed. I mean, Brady outplayed him. I mean, it's I don't know. There just seems there's always a little issue with him. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe he's an early millennial type of guy where if it doesn't go his way, he starts pouting and it's somebody else's fault. And I don't know. I mean, they got great receivers. They have one of the best offensive line in the league. They have a great running back. What the hell do you want? Defensive line, defensive work? I mean,
I'll take who is the least happy quarterback in the NFL outside of Deshaun Watson for 1,000.
That's the other thing that was a complete them drafting a quarterback.
Yeah.
They just admitted right there, wow. Well, we have 3 draft picks this whole draft, and we're going to take our first pick and use it on a quarterback. Well, we've been all pro there, but he's in trouble right now, so I think that they admitted that they're moving on from him.
Oh, yeah. Or at least preparing for that distinct possibility at the very least. I'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk some Major League Baseball, the beloved Pirates in the midst of a 4-game skid and back-to-back shutout losses. I ended up, I could not get to sleep last night. Very rare that I watch. I can't even tell you the last time I watched an entire Pirates West Coast game. I mean, it's been years. But I did last night, and I was riveted and then disappointed. I will say what Tyler Anderson has done these last couple of games is absolutely amazing. And it was a fun watch, even giving up the 2 runs there in the 7th. Man, the dude was unbelievable. But the Pirates, and I did, and this is not anything against the beloved manager of the Pirates, Derek Shelton, but afterward, they're asking him about the lack of runs. He's like, yeah, we've got to get more base runners. Well, yes, thank you, dear Skip. that always does help, especially when you're a team that does not hit home runs pretty much at all. Yes, getting base runners does help in the pursuit of actually scoring runs. So it is a step-by-step process, and they do seem to have identified step 1 of that process. Now it's going ahead and rectifying the problem that exists in Pittsburgh. We'll take a short break here and be back with more of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show right after this.
Lion Country Kia is offering exceptional deals on your new Kia during Kia's Command the Season event.
We have a nice selection on the 2021 Kia Sportage with various options and prices as low as $26,800, saving you $3,000. Or if you demand big power and towing capacity, slip into one of the 2021 Kia Sorrentos available on our lot, starting at $32,680.
Discover why Kia drivers throughout the area come to Lion Country Kia or visit online at lioncountrykia.com.
Quaker Steak and Lube is throwing open the garage doors and setting up the umbrellas. It's patio season. Come enjoy great food, drinks, and fun in the sun. There's always something happening at Quaker Steak and Lube, but we're really amping up our event calendars for our favorite time of year. Visit thelube.com to find out what's happening at your local lube this season. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, or late night, indoors or outside, at Quaker Steak and Lube, you'll always find big flavors, friendly faces, and lots of fun.
I'm here with Keith Goon Conlon, and you've got a little trip you're cooking up for August. Tell us about it.
So we got 4 or 5 ex-football players, Shane Conlon, myself, Troy Drayton, Justin Krupakis, and Mike Maudie. We're going to go down to Barbados, leave from different airports, 5 days, 4 nights. We got to get our skills ready to go for the football season, so what better way to do it than down in Barbados?
People come along on this trip, what are they going to be doing down there?
Very laid-back atmosphere. We're going to have golfing trips, fishing trips, and then at night, the days are very, very chill, and then at nighttime there'll be cocktail parties and, old viewings of old football games from Penn State. You might be watching the 87 Fiesta Bowl, the 95 Rose Bowl, a private viewing, a viewing for all the people who are on the trip of Saving Your Roar, which is the 2012 team documentary. So the biggest thing is it is 100% refundable. LionsLegendsTravels.com. Everything is on there. It's $19.95 a person. There's multiple airports, so check in.
Good stuff, Goon. Lions Legends Travel. Check it out.
He's not getting that car in there.
No, sir.
Hey, look at these two troublemakers.
Johnny, how are you?
Wicked car. Is that new?
Yeah, it's a Sonata. Let me park it.
Oh, you're not fitting your car in there.
Chris, stop being a smarty pants, all right? Look who's got Smart Park. Even Bruiser can park it. Just hit the clicker. I can park it anywhere.
Beaver Stadium?
Parked it.
Even the Jordan Center?
Parked it.
Even Medler Field?
Even Bruiser parked it.
Hey, you can't park there.
He's got Smart Park.
Wicked smart.
Blaze Alexander Hyundai. It's wicked smart.
And we welcome you back into the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on a Tuesday in the Valley of Happiness. Boy, we've had some windy days. Today, not as much. Still a little breeze blowing, but man, we had a couple of wind-strewn afternoons here in the State College area
Still
here
better than snow.
over the last week. Amen. With you 100%. Pirates overall still playing much better than I was anticipating, despite the 4-game skid. The Cardinals, very good team and put some things together in that series. The game last night at San Diego was really, if you're an old school baseball fan, and that's what I consider myself, it really was a fun game, an entertaining game. A lot of strategy. I thought you saw a couple of glaring examples of the Pirates being a young hitting team, chasing some pitches that I just think a more veteran team doesn't go after. And I still think, I'm torn because I really do like a lot of the kids, and they are kids by and large on this Pirates team. And I'm liking the pitching staff. I mean, Anderson, obviously, again, these last 2 outings have just ridiculously good. But I know what's going to happen is this team is going to build itself into being good. Not this season, but over the course of the next couple of years. And then, it might make a playoff appearance or two. It very well may not. And then, the mainstay of this group of Pirates will depart elsewhere and start winning championships and making their real mark in the baseball world for other organizations. and we go through
hitters,
we go through the whole thing all over again. But now, for the time being, I am enjoying watching this team try to grow.
They did the same thing they did last year. This is like, if their starting pitchers can hold out long enough, they got a shot of of what we don't know. I mean, winning 60, 70 games, obviously, but we'll see, bud.
Padres are a good team.
Oh, man, they're
I will say, man, that is
bottom,
which makes what Anderson did last night all the more remarkable. But
some of those LA Padres games that have been along the last 2 weeks, I've caught them late at night, getting up to go to the bathroom and laying back down and the game's on. So you'll catch a couple of innings. And it's like playoff atmosphere already. 40 games in, and it's like 30 games in. You're like, holy crap, man! These guys don't like each other. The Padres want to be where the Dodgers are.
Yep.
And the Dodgers are sitting there saying, "You're not taking it." That's very, very. It's interesting.
It is, and it's fun. It's good for the sport. Good for those two organizations and the fans of those teams. And the Pirates.
The Pirates don't play in the NFC or the NL West.
No, I wish the Pirates played in the NFC East.
Yeah,
that's where you're
exactly
going.
What it is. It's the exact same scenario. Yes, so the Phillies are in a tough division. The Eagles are in the easiest division right now. It only took 20 years for that to go astray, right?
Yeah, it all comes back around sooner or later. Phillies, I haven't even been really paying attention to the Phillies this last week or so.
I know
they
craziness, man. 2 bench clears and 3 or 4
Oh, I
days.
did see. Yeah, that's right.
What happened to Bryce Harper is, I mean, you weren't. What was it? That was like, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. 97 to the face.
Yeah.
And he's lucky he has his teeth and his nose and his orbitals. I mean, it glanced, thank God, late. And then Yeah, but then the next pitch goes and hits Didi Gregorius right in the middle of his back.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who has a lifetime kidney issue, so he's already a little COVID wary. He wears a mask all the time. And you can't take a ball to the back of 97 miles an hour. 2 pitches. You knocked 2 players out of the game. And Joe Girardi had every freaking right in the world to go out there and get mad at that umpire and say, what are you doing? Oh, the guy he lost his. Well, then get him off the mound. Get him out of there. It just blows my mind that he was there. And then, I watched the whole game the next day waiting for the fireworks. And they did. They had him late. 9th inning, Neris threw at a guy, or Alejandro or something like that. The setup guy, he put one in somebody's low back. And it was a 2-2 game. Nobody on and 2 outs. So I think it was the last time they were playing each other this year. It was the last time they were playing the Cardinals. So a little retribution. When then the Mets thing happens the next night, it's like craziness. Hey, those things help you build a team. I mean, they played last night without Hoskins, without Harper, and they win with Brewers 4-3. I mean, yeah, you're getting a little bit of run support from a lot of little different guys, and McCutcheon's starting to come around a little bit.
Yeah,
he's never going to be Kutch of the 7-2-4, but yeah, they could get some out of him that'll be great this season. They really haven't had it, but he's starting to warm up a little bit. Be interesting to see.
It is going to be interesting to see as this season plays out. I am curious to see how some things shake out in terms of who are the buyers and sellers as we get on the other side of the All-Star break here, because there's a few organizations that I think are on the brink of being either.
Yeah,
and we'll see what happens.
The Phillies are definitely one of them. I mean,
when we get to that point.
I mean, did you at all think that the Nationals would be leading the NL East at this point? I mean, they were picked 4th. Braves, Mets, Phillies, Nets. I mean, it's completely backwards. And they're playing each other a whole ton. So it's all going to get – it's a long season. We all know that. But, I mean, the Mets are already panicking. They've already fired their hitting coach and another coach. And, again, we're 30 games into the season. So, long way to go. We shall see.
Overreacting in New York?
Imagine that. Imagine that with a billionaire owner who wants to spend money to win titles.
Huh.
He's turning into Daniel Snyder right before our own eyes. It's horrible to see. It pains me to watch the Mets suffer.
I'm with you. Yeah, the one organization that you're always rooting for.
Yep. Everybody's little brother, I mean, everybody hates your little brother. That's the Mets. Yeah. No one likes the Mets. Nobody. I don't think the Mets like the Mets.
Nobody in their right mind does.
No, sir.
What is that? I don't even know what we're watching, but the Steelers drop 1 spot to number 11 in the power rankings following the 2021 NFL draft. What sense does that make?
I don't know.
Gonna have to look at more into that.
They're already talking about draft next year, and it's just crazy that how the cycle. It's the 24-hour news, so it's like it's crazy.
Hey, I'm already looking at the Kentucky Derby field for next year, so I understand.
Well,
I didn't even get to see the race on Saturday. Yeah, we were.
You didn't have the number 8 horse. I promise you that.
No, I had. I saw a little feature on the one jockey in the morning, so I was just hoping for Bourbonic, and Bourbonic did not fare well. I think right in the middle of the overall
Charlie
field.
He was up there. I always looked. I like 20 names. You got to find something that like sort of jumps out at you.
Yeah,
you come to Iron and Goon.
It's all about the name. Absolutely right.
I had nothing this year that jumped out at me, so I usually just bet the 5 horse. And that didn't work. And then everybody's sitting there telling me, "Oh, this horse, that horse," and whatever. Just pick out of the hat. It's the best way to do it. Because the Derby is the Derby. You have no idea, pretty much.
Good a chance as any.
It is exciting though. It is fun.
It's like the football polls, right? Those bowl polls. Inevitably, they're won by the wives.
No, that's the NCAA tournaments when they're picking by colors.
Well, that too.
I like purple. I like purple over the dark blue.
And the purple team wins.
Yes, exactly.
Against all expert knowledge and predictions. So.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Penguins and Flyers one more time. Dear
8,
Goon.
right?
Yep.
5-2 right now, Phillies. Or
Yeah.
Flyers.
No, it's been amazing. I mean, it really has just been amazing.
The Flyers have
because,
23 wins this season, 5 against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, and
how does this happen? I mean, trust me, I'm happy about it.
Oh yeah,
my liver is complaining about it a little bit, but hey, it is what it is. But I mean, it's good mojo. It's just the Flyers do not play the Capitals well. They never play the Capitals well.
Yeah,
they get absolutely destroyed by them. The Penguins don't play the Bruins well. They just match up bad against them. So,
yeah,
all my Penguin fans now they want to drop the second, play the Islanders because they want the Capitals to play the Bruins in the 1-4 matchup.
Yeah,
come on, you can't root for your team to be losing.
No, but at the end of the day, I don't get too worked up about that stuff because, how many times do you see those first round series? There's always at least an upset.
Yep.
So once you get to the playoffs, I mean, the matchups, they matter, but it matters much more about which team stays healthy and which team just is able to get into that grind mentality. And it's I don't know. So many years we've had teams that this team's red hot and this team looks like they're the team to beat and they're gone in the first round or second round. And I don't know.
Last year in the bubble.
Yeah,
they won their way into the first seed, and then they played.
Yeah, well, the Penguins. I mean, I really thought they had a cup contending team last year.
Yeah, and
gone like that.
And the Islanders knocked them both out.
Yeah,
the Islanders got hot at that right time, and then they fizzled out a little bit in the third round. But I mean, hey, well, I hope I win more beers tonight because I said I'm going to drink one beer watching every NHL Stanley Cup game this year, crying over the Flyers not making the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Ironhead. I was watching the game last night. It was sort of comical that it was 4-0, and I'm like, all right, this is what the hell's going on here. Now you could say that maybe their mojo got a little messed up when they bought back Malkin. The little change in the line. He comes out there. Maybe that's a little tick, but going down 4-0 to the Flyers and then giving it to 4-2, and I'm just sitting there. This is the most 2021 Philadelphia Flyer thing of all time. They're going to lose this game to the Penguins. I was like, oh my God, they're going to lose this game 5-4 because they were putting the pressure on, and it was only a 4-2 game with 11 minutes to go in the game or 9 minutes to go in the game. They could have definitely won that game, and I'm just sitting there. This is the most Philadelphia Flyers thing of all time to do right now, and that would be to lose that game. But thank God that they didn't. But one more time, Ironhead, you're going, Dan.
Yeah, I wish I could say I felt confident otherwise. I should feel confident otherwise, but I don't. That was a crazy game last night. So,
but
we'll see.
Crazy game, 2 goals. Just Crosby gets 1.
Yeah, I do like overall last night being the exception of the way the Penguins are playing, and I do like the momentum they have for whatever it's worth, and it's not worth much, again, as we've seen over the years in the playoffs. But I like the way the team is playing. I like the locker room they have right now. I like the way they seem to all be buying in. And part of last night, I do think, and it's one of those things. Do you wish Malkin back? Of course, you want a talent like Malkin on the ice, but it does change up, right? The chemistry that you have had on the ice, and again, I think sometimes it just takes a game or two to. This is how we play when Malkin's out there and change things up just a little bit. I will say one of the reasons I really am optimistic again. Predictions sure to go wrong about the Penguins this year, though, is I really do think they can mix and match now with that lineup, individual series and really individual games in the series. I love the number of different players. The upside to having the injuries that the Penguins have had is the opportunities that it does give young guys. And, by and large, the Penguins have had guys step up very, very nicely. And I think, again, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how the Penguins adjust their lineups throughout the course of the playoffs. But as always, it's going to come down to, how consistent you can be with the goaltending. And again, do you get hot? Or do you run into a hot team that is just able to cool you off no matter how hot you've been? And that's why I still think that the Stanley Cup playoffs are the greatest spectacle in sports, because you truly do not know. You can have a team that is clearly superior throughout the course of the season, unquestionably the better team, and for whatever reason, for a week and a half, just it doesn't click.
On his head is seen it 1,000 times,
yep.
Man.
Well, that's always
it's a huge thing.
The biggest difference maker when you get to playoff hockey. So,
are the Pens rotating their goalies?
They have not. Jari's gotten the overwhelming majority of the work,
okay.
And I think they were wanting to get to Smith a game there so that he gets sure. That experience, because obviously over the course of the playoffs you're going to have to.
He'll be called on at least one time.
Yeah, you're going to have to get
if they make a run.
At least two guys right.
If
big if I'm with you. I hear you. But I do feel good about the prospects going in. By the way, going back to the draft.
Yeah.
Run DMC.
Oh man.
And the introduction there for the beloved Steelers. Second best introduction, second only to Danica McKellar's greeting for my birthday that I've seen this past week. That thing was phenomenal. And I love that the Browns fans I mean, I really do. I love that they got worked up about it. And as Steelers fans would have. I mean, that's what it should be about. Like that was fun to me, watching that and watching the reaction.
How the NFL does that.
And I think everybody was on board with having fun with that.
Who was the kicker? David Akers went out in Dallas and just chewed them up.
The
Eagles. Pearson's done it to the Eagles fans, and it's just trolling. I got a question for you, Aaron.
Yeah.
We only got a couple more minutes here. What is safer in the streets of Cleveland, a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey or a Baltimore Ravens jersey?
Ooh.
I have my idea.
Man.
I know. I got to go with the purple. I really do. It's just they've won two
I don't
Super
know.
Bowls.
There's such a long-standing hatred of everything Pittsburgh.
That's not true. I know a lot of Cleveland fans who are Penguins fans, so that's what. It's weird to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's very close.
I mean, I wouldn't like anything New York if there was not a sports team in Philadelphia. I would never like anything New York. Where like Cleveland, who supposedly hates the city of Pittsburgh, will be Penguin fans, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah, there are. Yeah,
a lot of carry.
I don't know. I mean, there's certainly bitterness with the Ravens for
what
sure.
What if you have an Art Modell jersey?
I don't think anybody in Cleveland has an Art Modell jersey.
Well, would you?
And I don't think anybody with an Art Modell jersey would step foot in Cleveland.
A Osama bin Laden jersey or a Art Modell jersey in Cleveland? Who's safer?
Oh, bin Laden, and it's not
crazy.
Close. And it's not close.
Yeah, so I saw the Ravens fans there on like Thursday night, and they're hooting and hollering. And I'm like, those people are gonna be found in a ditch somewhere off of like Interstate 77 or whatever, somewhere up there. We can beat the tar out of them.
It's good that we can laugh about other people's murders, isn't it?
They're not a murder. They'd just be found. They were alive. They were found in the ditch, though.
Oh, is that what it was?
Hiding.
Oh, I misinterpreted.
They were
completely.
hiding. They were hiding. Yeah, but DMC, I mean, he never, ever let on in any of his music back in the day. No,
I didn't.
There was always Adidas and nothing. There was no Steeler gear. So that's why I may have to call a fraud, Ironhead. I may have to call Daryl McDaniel out on the dance floor right now and say, what's going on with that?
I don't know. I loved it. I loved everything about it.
And I like Goodell getting booed every time he walks. It's turning into the NHL
that does
and the
my heart
NBA.
good.
Oh, Lord. I like Goodell when he started, but my Lord, he's a I got a question
but he
for
gets
you.
paid to be a shill for the owners,
No doubt.
in all fairness to him.
But
and from that perspective, right, he has done his job very, very well, very effectively.
So I got a question. Roger Goodell is coming on stage, and I don't want to get into I know we have a couple minutes. I do not want to get into the mask issue.
Yeah.
He's not wearing a mask. None of the players are wearing masks, but the people they're bringing up out of the crowd are wearing masks, and they're hugging these people. Somebody's got to say, hey. I mean, they overly stressed how, the war room over here, and everybody's, whatever. But they're bringing Randy Macho Man Savage out of the crowd to go up, and that was by far the highlight of the draft, in my opinion. It took me about 10 minutes to realize that it actually was a mask that he had on with the Macho Man's face. I don't know if you knew that or not, but when he slapped Goodell on the back, he gave him a little go on, got there, get it done. I laughed. I loved it.
That was pretty good.
It was like, again, I don't want to go to the mask crowd, but it was just like, okay, you're trying to stress how everything is this and that, and then you're bringing these people up on the stage and you're having them sit down, but they're getting up and hugging their favorite players, and I don't know. It was just odd to me. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But him getting booed is now one of my favorite things. And I think he actually enjoys it. He brings it out. Like, come on, bring it, bring it. Troy Vincent.
Well, you have to embrace it. I mean, otherwise.
Would you do it for $50 million, Jeff?
Yeah, I think I'd be able to
I can probably handle that.
I think I'd be able to handle it just fine. That's going to wrap up our show for today.
Yeah, buddy.
Just like that. Another hour in the can. We'll be back on Thursday. And, no health issues in our household. I'll be here for Thursday's show. We'll talk about the final meeting between the Flyers and Penguins this season and much, much more at that point. Until then, be good and be safe.
Lion Country Kia is offering exceptional deals on your new Kia during Kia's Command the Season event.
We have a nice selection on the 2021 Kia Sportage with various options and prices as low as $26,800, saving you $3,000. Or if you demand big power and towing capacity, slip into one of the 2021 Kia Sorrentos available on our lot, starting at $32,680.
Discover why Kia drivers throughout the area come to Lion Country Kia or visit online at lioncountrykia.com.
Quaker Steak and Lube is throwing open the garage doors and setting up the umbrellas. It's patio season. Come enjoy great food, drinks, and fun in the sun. There's always something happening at Quaker Steak and Lube, but we're really amping up our event calendars for our favorite time of year. Visit thelube.com to find out what's happening at your local lube this season. Lunch, happy hour, dinner, or late night, indoors or outside, at Quaker Steak and Lube, you'll always find big flavors, friendly faces, and lots of fun.
I'm here with Keith Goon Conlon, and you've got a little trip you're cooking up for August. Tell us about it.
So we got 4 or 5 ex-football players, Shane Conlon, myself, Troy Drayton, Justin Krupakis, and Mike Maudie. We're going to go down to Barbados, leave from different airports, 5 days, 4 nights. We got to get our skills ready to go for the football season, so what better way to do it than down in Barbados?
People come along on this trip, what are they going to be doing down there?
Very laid-back atmosphere. We're going to have golfing trips, fishing trips, and then at night, the days are very, very chill, and then at nighttime there'll be cocktail parties and, old viewings of old football games from Penn State. You might be watching the 87 Fiesta Bowl, the 95 Rose Bowl, a private viewing, a viewing for all the people who are on the trip of Saving Your Roar, which is the 2012 team documentary. So the biggest thing is that it's 100% refundable. LionsLegendsTravels.com. Everything is on there. It's $19.95 a person. There's multiple airports, so check in.
Good stuff, Goon. Lions Legends Travel. Check it out.
He's not getting that car in there.
No, sir.
Hey, look at these two troublemakers.
Johnny, how are you?
Wicked car, is that new?
Yeah, it's a Sonata. Let me park it.
Oh, you're not fitting your car in there.
Chris, stop being a smarty pants, all right? Look who's got Smart Park. Even Bruiser can park it. Just hit the clicker. I can park it anywhere.
Beaver Stadium?
Parked it.
Even the Jordan Center?
Parked it.
Even Medla Field?
Even Bruiser parked it.
Hey, you can't park there.
He's got smart pack!
Wicked smart.
Blaze Alexander Hyundai. It's wicked smart.